So today's video is simply a continuation of yesterday's video where sorry, I've got a bit of a sore throat, well annoying. Simply a continuation of yesterday's video where I done a Q&A on Instagram and I answered all of your questions. If you haven't seen that video yet, maybe you should go and check that one out first. Let's get on with the video. Okay, so why did you leave the building trade? Samuel Russell, because like I said, it was a recession and didn't really have much choice. I still do buy and sell houses, but again, that's gone a bit quiet. So I still have an attraction or something pulling me into the building trade, but I don't actually do any hands-on work at all now because I'm too busy. I can't fit that in my life. So. But again, going back to what you're passionate about, if you're passionate about building and houses, there's a crazy amount of money in houses. It's such a good thing to do. I've always been torn with that as well. Do I knock cars on the head and go into houses? It would definitely earn me more money, but I'm passionate about cars, to be honest, so I've always just stuck with cars. How long have you worked for yourself and what gave you the balls to do it? Now, this is from Henry Jim, is that right? No, it's completely wrong, Calv. Henry JRM, sorry Henry. What gave me the balls to do it? It wasn't really that. It's kind of a transition. Leon was obviously doing the estate agency thing and we just chose to do it. It wasn't a matter of having balls. It was just the right thing to do. It was just like, I don't know. I do get that a lot of people stuck in jobs that they're probably not happy with, but it gives them stability and gives them a monthly wage. And I do get that people find it tough to step outside of that normal routine and set up on their own. But I think what I would do, if I know this isn't your question, but answering a lot of people's question to wanting to get into the car trade or wanting to set up on their own as like a self-employed person, just transition. Slowly do it, you know. Start buying and selling cars. Put in the hours in the evenings. What are you doing in the evenings? Probably not much, you know. Buy a car from BCA or something. Go at the auction on a Saturday morning. Buy a car, tidy it up, stick it on the Auto Trader, and start transitioning like that. And eventually you get to the point where you'll have 2 or 3 cars around you. They'll all be advertised, and you'll slowly build up a wage on the side on top of your current wage, and you'll be able to sort of transition out of your current working situation. So which is pretty much what we done. We just sort of kind of worked our way into it. I was always self-employed, so going and working for myself was I never had no fear to do it. How much did you invest when you started buying and selling? From a guy called Adam789, Adam with 2 A's. So Adam, basically, we didn't really do it like that. Like I said earlier, we started off small and just worked our way up. 1 car soon turns into 2 cars. 2 cars will then turn into 3 and so on. And we've now got over 100 cars. There was never any investment plan or any kind of funding. It was just kind of, we started out and we just slowly grew. And again, like, you can go out and get investment, but again, something else I said earlier was overheads. You can borrow money, but having a loan going out your bank every month, or having someone having an interest in your business, if someone said to you, look, I'll lend you 100 grand in return, I want 10% of your profit every month, with all your other bills and that, it can work out quite expensive. So just start off small, yeah? K18 OMR, where did you grow up? What was it like for you? And how did you end up in the car trade? So, I ain't going to go into too much detail about this because it's kind of like a whole video, I feel. But grew up in Luton, single mum, 1 of 5 brothers. I'm the middle brother. You see all of my brothers on the Golf R reactions video. Tough upbringing, nothing too glamorous at all. Clothing, for example, I'm currently wearing my NAFFCO54 jumper. NAFFCO54 back then was a cheap brand and it wasn't something that we could afford. and that gives you an idea of like price, how much money we had available to us. We used to get donations from charity shops for clothing, so as far as like we didn't buy from charity shops, we got given clothes from charity shops. They were gifted to us as donations. So yeah, grew up with nothing basically and built up my business from nothing. So but like I say, I might do a video at some point explaining my whole life journey, but right now I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, I'm a Luton boy, very proud to be from Luton as well. I love the town. It's a tough town, but I love it. So 2 questions, similar questions. What was your first car and what was your first modification? Vauxhall Calibra, and I got it lowered, put some wheels on it, looked well cool. Would you ever buy a rare classic car from a guy called Scott McGill one? Definitely. Anything that's got money in it, you know. If I'll buy anything, literally. I'll buy a bloody I don't know, anything, classic car, classic ornament, whatever. As long as I can see a profit, a potential profit in it, I'm on it. Mike Mounders has asked, what's the best thing about being in the car trade? For me, I think it's the freedom. You know, I'm just chilling here in normal clothes. I've been to the gym this morning. I stop and eat lunch whenever I want to, and I get to drive loads of nice cars. So massive, like from a freedom point of view, it's great. VW Cuthbert 1973. Would you pick a Range Rover Sport or a Range Rover Vogue? Definitely a Range Rover Sport. I just don't like the way the Vogues drive personally. They're just very big and boaty. So many car buying and selling questions. So I think the biggest question is, how did I get into it? What's my story? And what's the journey been like? So I will definitely, based on all of these questions, I will definitely be doing a video just solely focusing on that. Do you think Brexit will affect car prices? Definitely. Demand is everything. When demand drops, prices drop. So yeah, it will, but it won't affect my business too much, because I always was a good car trader, or any kind of trader, caravan, bloody car, van, you know, any kind of trader will adjust their stock to suit the current market. What cars do you avoid in your business? From Mahmood 0113. What cars do I avoid? That's a good question. I don't really avoid anything, I don't think. I think this is the point as well. Like, why avoid anything? Because if you can buy something for the right money, it's worth buying. So yeah, I'll buy anything really. That's an interesting one. Matt PM 1979. What does your partner and children think of your YouTube channel? So I've got a little boy, he's 5 by the time this video goes live, and he loves cars, and he's got a lot of energy, and yeah, he watches my videos, but to him it's just normal. He just sees me on the telly all the time. Like, he just we put the telly on every now and then and watch. If I upload a video and I think it's one that he's going to want to watch, we just put it on the telly and he watches it. So yeah, it's pretty cool for that. And I bring him along to the odd car show as well, which is pretty good. Yeah, that's right, you're right. See you later, Kai. Bye-bye. But yeah, my missus, it's tough for her, you know. For any girl that's with a YouTuber, it's hard. I am editing all the time. Like, it ain't, as far as like, I might come across as an extremely sociable person on camera. I am an extremely sociable person, but yeah, I don't have time. I literally have no time for anything. I'm just bloody editing all the time. So it's tough for girls that are with you, or girls or guys, you know. If anyone who's with a YouTuber, it ain't easy. So, but she's cool with it. She's absolutely cool with it. But it's definitely not an easy ride for her. Aaron Coville, what's the most expensive car you've ever bought? Definitely the McLaren. The McLaren is by a mile. But to be honest with you, I don't really like buying cars of big value. Not because, I mean, they're good and you've got the opportunity to earn loads of money out of them, but I suppose my business has kind of grown on just run-of-the-mill cars. So having all these average cars and then a McLaren, I don't really track that kind of buyer. So it's the wrong thing for me. So I just try not to buy that type of stuff. But if your whole stock is that kind of thing, yeah, you can do really well out of high-end cars. So again, just understanding what you're about yourself and adjusting your stock to suit you and your own passion. How much do you miss the GTR? A lot. I love that car, but I'm all about selling things and moving on, so it's a great thing to do, but I will definitely at some stage in time get another GTR, because they're absolutely brilliant cars. If you're in a position to buy a car for that kind of value and you're considering a GTR, trust me, just go and buy one, because they are absolutely sick. They're such brilliant cars, honestly. All right, so yeah, I do miss it. How do you afford all these cars? Lewis Richards 188. Like I said earlier, I started off small, worked my way up. It's like, how do your parents own their house? You know, it's a valuable house. You literally start off small and work your way up. I've been doing this for a long time, and it ain't been easy, but that's just pretty much it. There is no secret to building up stock. What's the hardest thing about being a car salesman? Now, this is from Game Collection Vault. That's a long name. I don't actually sell cars myself, so the way my business works is me and Leon concentrate on the buy-in, and then we've got staff at our storage yards where we sell, and it's actually our dad that sells our cars for us. So I mentioned earlier that we didn't grow up with our dad. Got to know him later on in life when we set up our car trading business, and he got on board as like the salesman for the cars, and it's great for us because we can trust him, you know, that's our dad. So and we've kind of built up a relationship with him now, which is really good. So yeah, having our dad on board to sell cars has been really good. And he was actually a butcher before, so he's very much about being a sort of a salesman, and he's got the chat. So I'm not actually a salesman, don't really enjoy selling cars, but yeah, luckily I've got a decent guy there doing it for me. All right, any plans to do a dealership and have a forecourt? Again, yeah, I've got plans to do that. That's from, this guy's from ABL Fur, but just look out for a video coming in the next couple of weeks. I've not filmed it yet, but I've got some pretty cool stuff. Car.obsessed. If you had to give up Insta or YouTube, which one would it be? Well, if I had to give up one, I'd definitely give up Insta, because I love making videos, and there isn't really much of a video platform on Instagram. So yeah, I'd stick with YouTube, I think. Car Obsessors asks, how many subscribers would I like to gain by next year? So by the end of this year, I don't really think about things like that. A lot of people say to me, where do you want your business to be in a year's time? I just look at moving forward. Now, my channel's grown a lot in the past few weeks, as you've probably all seen, but and I enjoy it, and I enjoy the journey. And I think for me, as long as I'm making progress, I'm happy with that. If I could get to, it'd be nice to say I've got 100k, but I'm pretty sure it's all going that way anyway. So it's just about enjoying the journey, and I'm all about that. I mean, even with my business, I like to enjoy the journey. So yeah, that's kind of like my goal, but not really. I feel like it's going in the right direction. That's all that matters. All right. That's actually it. There's loads of questions in there. A lot of questions about the Golf R, like what does it cost to run and stuff. It's not actually horrendous to run. Bear in mind, I used to run a stage 4.25 Nissan GTR. But yeah, that's a common question. Another question I get asked is, but sorry, I've brushed that question off really quickly. But the Golf R is not too bad to run at all. I actually really like it. I love that car. I'm going to leave it as that, I think. But yeah, there's loads more questions in there. But this video's gone on for a long time, and I've got to get back now as well. So I hope you like the video. Like I said, I am going to try and film a kind of 2 videos. This got me thinking about 2 videos. One, a tips and tricks video with the car trade, and 2, a video on my whole journey. I think that'd be quite an interesting video. Just sitting here in front of a camera. And I get that this is not going to it's probably not going to attract new viewers or new subscribers. This is more for my current subscribers. So won't get I'm not expecting a massive amount of views, but I think it's important that I do this so you guys get to know me a bit better, and I definitely see value in that. So so yeah, I'm done. I'm going to end it as that. I feel like, because when I talk to a camera, I really try and talk with volume, and my throat is actually hurting from talking so much. But I definitely answered the majority of the questions as best as I could. But if you have got any more, I'll try and do this again at some point. But I'm going to get off now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. As ever, I'm going to ask you to like the video and hit subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader. Right? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, basically, without giving too much away, I buy a Honda S2000.